to attack the Green Deal, to attack renewables. First of all, there is no basis in the data to do that. But second, I want to ask you this question. Is energy security better if we're dependent on fossil fuels from Putin? Is the security of our citizens better if we're dependent on fuel from an aggressor in Kremlin who has weaponized energy towards us many times? I think the answer is pretty obvious. No, it's not. For us, we have one main objective in the energy policy of the European Union, and that is to become independent. And the only reason the only way for us to become that is by deploying more renewables fast, by becoming more energy efficient fast, by becoming more connected fast, by applying digitalization faster. If we do all of these things, not only can we become independent, free ourselves of the blackmail from Putin, we can also lower the prices of our energy. The IEA has estimated that from 21 to 23, European consumers saved 100 billion euros by deploying new renewables. Add to that the money that we save by being connected. Acer has evaluated that we save more than 30 billion euros a year because we are as connected as we are. The potential is much bigger than that, by the way. That is why the strategy of the Commission is to stay focused on making the green transition faster for the sake of our independence, for the sake of our energy security, to lower prices, and to fight climate change. Let's also remember that climate change is not something that might happen in the future. It's not something that might threaten our societies. It's already here.
to make extra backing available to the agri-food sector, for example, by providing more flexibility for state aid. The Council regularly monitors the situation to provide guidance to the Commission. We will next do so at the upcoming meeting of the President, honourable members, Commissioner, from an economic perspective, it is true that food prices have risen faster than other prices in the last few years. This is relevant as food accounts for a sizable share in consumer spending, in particular for lower-income households. However, since 2024, food prices are again changing just as overall prices. This is an encouraging development. Promoting more competition in retail trade could help consumers over the medium term to find a broader choice of products at moderate price. I look forward to hearing your views on this important subject during the debate. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much as well. And then I will give the floor to the Commission and Commissioner Cadiz for his introductory remarks. Please, the floor is yours.
Honourable President, Honourable Minister, Honourable Members of the European Parliament, the topic you addressed today remains a crucial one. Availability and affordability of food are treaty objectives of the Common Agricultural Policy. It also corresponds to a vital societal function that we need to maintain at all times, as recognised by the recent EU Preparedness Union strategy. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian invasion of Ukraine have resulted in an unprecedented EU food price inflation that has strained consumers' budgets. Overall, food prices increased by 24% in the years 2022 and 2023. The annual food inflation rate therefore increased substantially, peaking at 19.6% in March 2023. In some member states, increases have been even higher. Food prices increased by close to 50% in Hungary over the same period. This inflation had important impacts on the organisation of the whole food supply chain. Costs and margins all along the chain were impacted, with different perceptions generating some growing mistrust between actors about who may have gained and who may have lost. Farmers face significantly higher costs, in particular for energy and fertilizers. The impact of several animal diseases also put pressure on production costs and on the final cost to consumers. Food prices have subsequently stabilized, with an EU food inflation rate below 3% on an annual basis since February 2024. We need to be attentive, as the annualized food inflation rate grew from 2% in January 2025 to 3% in March 2025. As shown by the Commission's Consumer Confidence Indicator, consumers further expressed in April 2025 expectations that prices will continue to increase strongly over the next 12 months. The high cost of living continues to weigh on consumers. When asked about different aspects of their household budget in the context of the 2025 Consumers' Conditions Scoreboard, 35% of them were worried about affording food products they liked. Energy and input prices for agriculture are also back to more regular trends. However, this does not offset the surge of the past years. Prices of agricultural inputs remain above 30% higher than their 2020 level. The gap is even bigger for energy and fertilizers that are over 50% above what they were in 2020. The Commission swiftly reacted to this situation with the Food Security Communication of March 2022 that listed the efforts of the Commission to ensure continued functioning of the internal market. These actions were key, not only for ensuring the availability of food, but also for preventing even higher inflation rates. In this context, unjustified barriers to the internal market for food products may exacerbate the inflationary tensions on the agri-food markets. The Commission also pays attention to tackling anti-competitive practices in the food sector that could result in higher prices at retail level. Certain practices threaten to fragment the single market, limit consumer choice, and contribute to price differentials across the EU. While competition law is an effective tool to penalize such practices when a company is in a dominant position, the Commission is reflecting on appropriate ways to address practices such as territorial supply constraints when not captured by the competition law. Measures supporting households are also important. At EU level, the Fund for European Aid to Most Deprived plays a significant role for the benefit of food banks. Since April 2022, Member States can reduce VAT rates on essential food or develop vouchers for the most vulnerable parts of our society. These aspects will be covered by the food dialogue the Commission intends to organise. A well-functioning agri-food chain where the most powerful actors cannot benefit unduly from their dominant position is absolutely key to ensure a smooth and fair price formation. This implies a better position of farmers in the food supply chain. Last December, the Commission proposed measures for this purpose, and these are currently under your scrutiny. One of the important actions was the creation of the EU Agri-Food Chain Observatory to improve transparency within the agri-food supply chain when it comes to prices, costs and margins. As expressed in the Commission's vision for agriculture and food, adopted on the 19th of February, a fair and well-functioning, competitive and resilient food supply chain is of course strategic interest for the European Union. This will also help to ensure affordability of food. Honourable members of the European Parliament, I will be very happy to hear your views on these important aspects of our agricultural and food policy. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. And now we will take the first round of speakers on behalf of the political groups. And the first speaker is Mr. Sokol for 2 minutes, please.
Poštovana potpredsjednice, povjereniče, kolegice i kolege. Visoke maloprodajne cijene hrane postale su jedno od ključnih pitanja za milijune potrošača diljem Europske unije. Inflacija, iako određenim sektorima pokazuje znakove usporavanja, u području hrana ostaje tvrdoglavo visoka. Kućanstva diljem Europe primorana su svakodnevno donositi teške odluke, birajući između količine i kvalitete, između zdravih izbora i onoga što si mogu priuštiti. Želja velikih međunarodnih kompanija da pod svaku cijenu povećaju svoje profite stvara dodatni pritisak na cijene i direktno podriva povjerenje građana u jedinstveno europsko tržište. Prema podacima Eurostata, u razdoblju od 2015. do 2024. godine cijene hrane i bezalkoholnih pića u Europskoj uniji porasle su za 42,8%. Posebno su pogođene osnovne namirnice koje čine temelj potrošačke košarice. Dodatno zabrinjava činjenica da isti prehrambeni proizvodi unutar istih trgovačkih lanaca imaju znatno različite cijene u različitim državama članicama. U nekima se prodaju do 3 puta skuplje nego u susjednim zemljama bez jasnog opravdanja u troškovima transporta, porezima ili drugim objektivnim faktorima. Ovakva praksa neprihvatljiva je i otkriva duboke pukotine u funkcioniranju unutarnjeg tržišta. Što više, sve više se očituje obrazac koji ukazuje na moguće usklađeno djelovanje, odnosno kartel međunarodnih kompanija koje, umjesto da se natječu na slobodnom tržištu, zapravo međusobno dogovaraju cijene. Takvo ponašanje ne samo da narušava tržišno natjecanje, već izravno šteti potrošačima i ugrožava temeljne principe na kojima počiva jedinstveno europsko tržište. Dame i gospodo, ne smijemo dopustiti stvaranje Europe potrošača prvog i drugog reda. Stoga pozivam Europsku komisiju da ovu temu stavi u središte nove strategije za potrošače i što hitnije krene u reviziju direktive o nepoštenoj poslovnoj praksi. Kolegice i kolege, potrošače moramo zaštititi od samovolje velikih međunarodnih kompanija. Hvala lijepa.
Thank you very much. And the next speaker is Ms. Lauretti for 1.5 minutes. The floor is yours, please.
Il cibo è un diritto e il prezzo equo e giusto per tutti è un fattore di uguaglianza. Nel 2023 quasi un europeo su 10 non poteva permettersi un pasto completo al giorno. Nel 2024 i prezzi dei beni alimentari sono aumentati del 2,4 rispetto all'anno precedente e la situazione geopolitica che stiamo vivendo, il conflitto sui dazi, potranno solo peggiorare questo dato. I prezzi troppo alti spingono le famiglie europee a orientarsi verso prodotti di minore qualità, con ricadute pesanti sulla salute e sui sistemi sanitari. Per molti bambini, soprattutto provenienti dalle famiglie più vulnerabili, programmi europei come quello di frutta, verdura e latte nelle scuole forniscono l'unico pasto completo della giornata. Si tratta di una doppia sfida, perché questi costi non si trasformano in guadagni per i nostri agricoltori, che guadagnano ancora troppo poco per quanto e come producono. Paghiamo in euro e guadagniamo in centesimi, mi dicono quando li incontro in Italia, e spesso sono gli anelli più deboli della filiera. Interventi come quelli sulle pratiche commerciali sleali, migliori controlli alle frontiere, la riforma dell'Organizzazione Comune dei Mercati possono aiutare l'Europa a rispondere a questa doppia sfida. Investire sul cibo equo e sostenibile vuol dire far bene alle persone e far bene al pianeta, e l'Europa non può permettersi di non farlo ora. Grazie.
Thank you very much.